everybody, and welcome to another episode of Insufficient Friends. I'm Kevin. She's Nikki.
Hi. That was delayed, sorry. I'm on it.
Nick, how was your week?
It was actually good. I have two things that I wanted to tell you about.
Okay.
The first was, CPR certification and how that's like for, physical distress.
Yeah.
Well, this week I did, with my little Rotaract group, we did the QPR certification, which is for mental health crises.
Okay.
Crises, is that the right word? And
Something like that.
Kind of like how CPR is like you have to do a certain thing and that's how you react physically. This is more so the right things to say, the wrong things to say when someone's in a crisis.
Oh, okay.
And then the resources to call and where to get them to, things like that. So
Okay.
that was really cool.
That's nice.
And then Taylor Swift's album.
Yes. You sent me a link to Spotify to The Alchemist. Was that the song?
The Alchemy. Yeah.
The Alchemy. I listened to that song.
Yeah.
I did not listen to anything else, which I will. I promise I will. We may have to talk about that later.
Yeah.
But your message was something along the lines of, what was it? I wonder who this is about.
I know.
But I don't know enough about her, history.
The whole song. Now, granted, it may not be about Trav because she might have written it before. But the whole song is like, instead of going to the trophy, he's running to me and things like that. And I was like, excuse you? It was cool. I love that one. But my favorite song, I was just talking to Stevie about this. I can't remember if she told me her favorite too. But there's one called, what is it? So High School.
Okay.
And so that one was my favorite. And then
I liked the
Stevie,
song that you sent.
all of them, but
I liked this. It was a
it's a good
song.
album. I listened to all of them. We'll have to do a deeper dive once you.
Yeah, I'll have to listen to it. That was
That will be.
We did that a while back. I think
upcoming.
me and Stevie did that when the last one came out. Was it the last one came out? Or maybe after the last one came out. But
that'll be fun.
So
but that came out this week. So.
Yeah. It was pretty good. I didn't really do anything, but it was just kind of a fine week. I didn't have any
Business
issues
as
or anything.
usual.
I haven't been I kind of got rid of the cough, which is nice. So
yeah, that's good.
that's although yesterday I had a coughing fit, I thought I was going to die as I was talking to somebody because I was trying to stifle one of them, which never goes well.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, I was on the phone with this person and I just couldn't I was I could hear my voice cracking as I was talking, trying not to cough.
And then your eyes start tearing up as you start to hold it in.
And then as soon as I finished, I just coughed for 3 minutes
you
straight.
Just die.
Mm-hmm, yep.
Yeah. I do the same thing. The worst is when you're around other people too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
like in the bank setting when you have all your coworkers around you as you're calling someone versus if you're in your own office, it's okay, that was embarrassing.
Yeah.
But
nobody else is around.
Yeah, only the client heard it.
Only the one person heard it.
Yeah.
So shout outs this week.
Yeah.
You have
I have one.
I have one, kind of. We'll get to that in a second.
So happy birthday, Paulette. Her birthday
Paulette,
was yesterday.
Happy birthday. Hold on.
Well, I guess a couple days ago as this episode comes out. But
do
you have a birthday sound? Oh, clapping.
I have applause. I don't know if I have a birthday sound or not.
Yeah. So happy birthday, Paulette. Hopefully we'll have them all on the podcast soon, all of our little friend group there.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, we're planning something fun, hopefully, for that. So we're hoping it'll be fun. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
I think it will be too.
But we got to set up an actual solid date for that. So we're working on that. And we'll have
that was my shout out for the
eventually. My shout out is to nobody. Because none of you voted on our poll last week.
Kevin's a little salty.
We have the Instagram, we push to the Instagram, which is fine. You don't have to go there. You don't have to listen. You don't have to do anything. We want you to. We want you to enjoy it. But we put out the poll last week on who had the best festival lineup. Nobody voted on anything, so we don't actually have a winner.
Yeah, but that's okay. We're all winners in our hearts.
Are we really?
I don't know. No, I don't think so because the fact that no one voted.
I think we're all losers in our hearts is what happens. I think that's where we're actually at.
Yeah.
So anyway, right into what we're doing for this week.
Yeah.
We decided to plan trips for each other.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then we kind of looked at what this is dream vacations.
Yeah.
So this is unattainable.
Mm-hmm.
We know this. There's no flipping way, either one of us could go on these trips.
We'd have to have unlimited PTO, unlimited budget. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't. Unlimited PTO isn't even a thing. You would just not have to have a job for what I have planned.
Really?
Yeah.
Mine, I mean, pretty much same for mine. It's like, it'd probably take at least 5 weeks.
Mine is 60 days on the dot.
Oh, is it really?
It's 60 days on the dot. From the math that I did,
so
it's 60
funny.
days on the dot. I didn't mean to do that, but it's what happened.
Well, do you want me to go first since so for you, I did like the route and everything and what to do in between each, city. But I didn't have I feel like you went a little more in depth on even.
I did go a little more in depth probably than that, but sure.
So I'll go first.
Okay.
So,
and we're gonna rate each other what we think about each. I'm gonna rate Nikki's trip for me. She's gonna rate my trip for her, and we'll see how this goes. Yeah. And then we'll talk about some other stuff, or what we would want to do.
Yeah. And I also have a couple questions for you after too. But so here is my vacation for you. Mm-hmm. So it is the Disney version of Around the World in 80 Days. Okay. I don't know if it actually takes 80 days. Because like I said, I didn't actually math it out like you did. But so I would have you start in Florida.
Okay.
I know you've already, obviously been to Disney's here. Yep. But I would have you start in Florida.
Okay.
Do all the Disney stuff, all the extras included. Okay. And each spot, every, single fun thing, extra, the nicest hotel, the Grand Floridian type of.
Okay.
That's what you're doing there. And then from Florida, once you're done with that, after each stop, I want you to have 3 days of a spa day to recover and prepare for the next Disney trip.
So I don't. Okay. That's
not like getting massages and things. Just like on the beach where you can relax. I know you don't really like to just sit on the beach and relax, but I feel like you would have to recover from each.
Yeah, I usually
so much walking.
Do recovery days. Like I did a couple days where I didn't do anything.
Yeah. So it's like your equivalent of that. Yeah. So like maybe you stay at a hotel that has a spa so you can get a massage if you need it, because you might need it after going to every single Disney park. But mostly I just said, okay, like 3 days is the minimum for just your feet to recover from all the walking. So, and then from Florida, take a cruise, because I know you like cruises, to Europe.
Okay.
And then go to the Paris.
Okay.
Disney World, Disneyland, whatever they call it there.
Disneyland.
And
all of them are Disneylands except for the one in Florida.
Yeah. And then so recovery time after that. And then to Hong Kong, because I looked at the map and Hong Kong is southern China from what south
kind of ish, yeah.
Eastern, I guess if you're looking at the map. I could have Southeast, my directions wrong. I do my directions based on restaurants and things like that. So I don't actually really know directions. But it looked like Hong Kong was south of Shanghai.
It is.
So Hong Kong to Shanghai and then to Tokyo.
Okay.
So making that kind of loop there with break times in between. Yep. And then ending in California. Okay. So coming back across the ocean to the U.S.
Okay.
And then taking a scenic train ride from California back to Missouri.
Okay.
And with those stops in between, because you're going to need time to recover, and this is going to take a very long time. But at each stop, you would stay at the nicest hotels. So I started to look them up, and then I was like, why am I looking? You probably already know the nicest hotels at each of the parks or each of the areas.
I know some of the hotels at the parks.
Yeah. So I mostly thought about, you're going to need recovery time in between. So that was my trip for you, to bookend it with something fun on each leg of the journey.
Okay. I'm gonna. That's a great one, and I was gonna wait to tell you what my trip for one of my trips for me would be, but I'm gonna tell you now. So Disney does, and around the world Disney parks, they have a setup that does it. Yes, it's 24 days.
24.
It's 24 because it's all private. It's all private jets, so you fly everywhere.
Oh my god! I was like, that seems so short.
Yeah, it's 24 days. So you start in California. You basically go the opposite direction that you did.
Okay.
So you start in California. You do a couple days in Anaheim, touring the Disney production studio, touring the George Lucas studios.
Yeah.
And then at the park, and then you fly to, I believe you fly to San Francisco to see the George Lucas stuff. Then you fly to Tokyo, do Tokyo. Then you go Shanghai, Hong Kong. Then you actually go to There are stops also at the Great Pyramids, I believe.
Oh, interesting.
There's also a tour of the Taj Mahal.
I wonder why. Because they filmed
it's
stuff
like
there?
just because it's like, well, there is a ride that has some of those locations on it.
Oh, okay.
So, but I think it's just like we're flying you around the world. We might as well just stop at some of these places.
Stop and
anyway.
see the biggest things.
So you do stop at a few places like that, and then you end up in Florida.
Okay, so it is literally the opposite route of what I did. Yeah.
But it's 24 days, and it's all, like I said, it's all private flight. It's all like flights. Now that trip is $115,000 per person.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that mine would probably be more with all the stops in between, and the cruise and the train ride,
and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm sure it would be.
That's interesting though. I didn't know they had that, but 24 days, that is so short. I mean, we'd be exhausted.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like it would be a lot.
I was thinking like you're gonna need, at least a week minimum, if not a week and a half to 2 for each stop,
Yeah.
or each leg of the trip.
Just but so that's the only reason that I'm
that's funny.
Gonna say that one now. I'll save the other one for later that I would want to do. But
well,
okay.
But that was my vacation for you. So
are we rating it out of 5 or 10? Like, what are we rating it out of?
Let's do 10.
10? Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna give that. Yeah, I'm gonna give that like an 8, 8.5. Yeah.
I figured that would be really close.
Because the train ride would be really, like, I would love a train. I love trains.
I know, and I thought a scenic thing to end it.
If it's like a scenic one, I don't want to ride Amtrak back. Like, that's just, I don't want to be crammed.
No, but isn't there a nice one that goes through, like, the Rockies?
I'm sure there is. There's all kinds of scenic train tours.
Yeah, because I've seen videos of it. I'm going to be honest, I did this last night at, like, 11.
Hey, I did this morning, so it's fine. It still took me like 2 hours.
Yeah.
But I did it this morning. So, okay.
Okay.
So, mine's a little more in depth.
Okay.
I said I got rid of a cough, but whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, mine's a little more in depth. So, I have like actual hotels that you're staying in.
Okay.
And all kinds of stuff. So, we're going to start flying first class to Edinburgh.
Naturally.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna stay 3 nights at the Melville Castle.
Ooh.
And then while you're there, you're going during that 3. Like a lot of mine, there's a lot of downtime too. So like you can do whatever you want to while you're in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
So one of those days though, there is a full day tour for Edinburgh for the Mary Queen of Scots.
Yay.
So and it follows. It's like a tour. You go and. Like, it's a private tour. It's 8 hours long, and they take you to a couple different of her, like where she was born, the place where she was born. They take you to a couple different locations that are known for her, and then they bring you back basically. Yeah. So so that's one of those days. Then you'll have a couple other days to do whatever you want.
That's super fun.
And then at the end of your stay in Edinburgh, you're going to do an 8-day trip through the Scottish Highlands. And this is done by Disney. It's done by Adventures.
Oh, it is?
It's Adventures by Disney. So it's Disney set it up, and then they control it.
No,
it's
I would love that
people.
because so much of our Scotland trip was obviously the wedding on Skye, which is beautiful. I mean, spending 4 days on Skye is amazing. But we missed all of the Highlands, or most of the Highlands. So I would love that.
So this includes canoeing on Loch Ness. Archery at the Rothamachers Estate. I don't know how to say that. A Scotch whiskey experience, and a falconry experience. It's like I said, it's 8 different days.
Yeah.
So you start in Edinburgh and you end up in Inverness.
That is so cool.
So that's that. You're gonna have when we get to Inverness. You're gonna have. I don't know what there is to do in Inverness, so I didn't leave.
We actually went there. We only stayed there for the first night because that's like the second biggest airport. There's Edinburgh, and Inverness is a smaller.
Okay.
Kind of like the Columbia Airport.
Okay, so I have a 2-night stay at Inverness at what is this? The Alderley Castle Estate.
Ooh.
So then you're going to take a train from Inverness to Edinburgh, and then Edinburgh to London. I'm gonna try to make it a steam train, but I couldn't find a specific steam train to get you on. So we're gonna try to do steam train, but I can't figure that out.
They do have the Jacobite steam train, but it's just like a scene. I don't know.
I think it just does it.
Yeah. It's more like the scenic thing.
Used to, I don't know that they still do it. The Flying Scotsman is, of course, a famous train in the UK that ran from London to Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And for a while, they brought it back. So I don't know if it's still... I don't think it runs still.
I don't know.
But that was the goal, is to get you on a train.
That'd be fun, because driving there was stressful at first. You got the hang of it after a while, but if I could do something other than driving, I would.
So there was a train that I found, but I couldn't figure out the dates because I couldn't tell if it had already happened or if it was like a one-time thing or whatever.
Oh, yeah, like a special.
But it ran from Edinburgh to London with a stop in York. So it was a steam train from Edinburgh to York along the East Coast line, which is like a really scenic route.
Yeah.
And then it went from York to London on I think it was an electric.
Oh my God, I want to do this like tomorrow.
So when you get to London, you got a 4-night stay in the Langham, London, which is which opened in 1865. So it's a very old, like fancy.
Yeah, Civil War.
All these are like luxury hotels, by the way, like high end. So this is in the West End. While you're in London, most of it's just like you do what you want to do. I didn't plan a bunch of trips or things in London. The only tour I did say that you would have to do is the Jack the Ripper haunted London Sherlock Holmes tour.
Yes.
Which is like a 1 evening, like a 4-hour walking tour. So it's not going to take up a ton of time. You can do whatever else you want. Go see the Eye. Go see whatever.
Yeah. So cool.
Then you're going to take the Eurostar to Paris.
Okay.
5 nights in Paris at the Four Seasons George V Hotel with a room that overlooks the Eiffel Tower.
That's a good one. Love it.
2 things that I've got you doing there. There is a guided tour of the Louvre with like the big pieces at the Louvre, and it's an evening tour, so it's like the last tour of the day, which is supposed to be less people.
Yes.
So it's a very low crowd tour. It's even called low crowd tour.
Yeah.
So you get to see the Mona Lisa like without crowds around it and stuff like that. So
yeah, because I mean I've been in that room before.
I've heard it's packed.
I did
and the art
study
pieces,
abroad,
like
so everything. Yeah. So I did like the study abroad, so everything was cheap and during the highest tourist hours of the day, and it kind of sucked.
Yeah.
So I would love to do an evening tour.
And then there's a haunted Paris experience, which is a walking tour that includes like going to Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
And that's like a ghost tour.
I would love to do a haunted tour in Paris.
Okay. Then you're taking the train from Paris to Barcelona.
Ooh.
Okay. Barcelona, you can just stay there. You know, Barcelona, I would want to see the Sagrada Familia, which is a church that's been under construction for like 200 years.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be finished in 2026.
Is it really?
Yes. They said it's going to be finished. I think it's in 2026, which is crazy.
Yeah.
The architect died. He was hit by a bus or something like 100 years ago.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he died some random way while this thing was being built.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a bust because I think, like I said, it's been like a couple 100 years that it started, but it's just crazy that this building hasn't been done.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of it.
So while you're there, you're going to stay 3 nights at the Mandarin Oriental in Barcelona.
Oh, it sounds nice.
It is. Okay, so you've got 3 nights there to do whatever you want to.
Okay.
Then you're going to take a Virgin cruise from Barcelona to Malta and Greece. And you end in Athens.
I've never been there. I want to go so bad. I love that.
5-night cruise.
Yeah.
And when you get there, I've got you staying 3 nights at the Monument Hotel in Athens, which is actually a monument. It was built in 1881, so it is actually a monument in that city. You're going to stay there. So you got 2 couple days to do that.
Yeah.
Then you're going to take a 7-night cruise to the Greek Isles, which is going to end in Rome.
Ooh.
And that one's on Virgin Cruise. No, that one's on... The first one's Virgin Cruises, which means it doesn't have kids.
Oh, good.
So no kids on the 5-night cruise.
Cruises.
The second one is Royal Caribbean, which is like a bigger cruise line. So that's... I mean, I've been on Royal Caribbean. I was
going to say, I think that's the one I found when I was looking for the Florida to Europe, yeah.
So you're going to end in Rome. Okay, so you've got 5 nights in Rome. The only thing I got for you there is a paranormal walking tour on the back streets, because of course we're going to do paranormal stuff.
Yeah,
that's what you're going to be doing. Okay, so after Rome, you're going to take a first class flight to Cairo. You're going to stay at the Ritz-Carlton on the Nile River. You're gonna stay there 3 nights. Then you're taking a Viking cruise, a river cruise along the Nile. It's called the Pharaohs and Pyramids.
I have always
tour.
wanted to do that.
Yeah, it's called the Pharaohs and Pyramids tour. It's 12 days of going just up and down the Nile River to look at like the old Egyptian like monuments.
That Egypt is the one place that like I've always wanted to go, but you just never know. Like, is it on the travel advisory right now? Is it not?
It's kind of always.
I want to go so bad.
Off and on of if it's safe enough to go or not.
Yeah.
So once you come back, once you get done with that, because it's a back and forth. It starts in Cairo, ends in Cairo.
Okay.
So it's back and forth, and it also includes like walking tours and stuff of Cairo and stuff like that. So there's a couple of days in Cairo when you get to see the sites there.
I love that.
And it's all booked through them. So once you get back, you're going to stay 1 night at the Fairmont Nile City, which is another nicer-ish hotel. Then you're flying first class back here.
Oh, I love it.
60 days.
That is amazing.
I'm guessing it's like, well, I know that the Pharaohs and Pyramids, the river cruise is, I have links to a lot of this stuff. So the river cruise is $6,000 or starts at $6,000 a person. The cruises weren't that expensive, like $1,000 and
really
under.
Not,
They're usually not that expensive. The tours, but the vacations by Disney is of course expensive because it's Disney. Let's see what that one was.
Yeah, you definitely have to have an unlimited budget.
That one was $7,200 a person.
Yeah.
Starting at $7,200 a person.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Everything starts at something.
Yeah.
And then just goes up from there. So that's your trip. I'm sure it's over $100,000 because the hotels too. One of the hotels was like $1,000 a night. So, it's
same with the Disney trip. I think it would be astronomical.
Yeah.
And especially with flights and stuff too and trains. But I give that a 15 out of 10. I want to go tomorrow.
Okay. I'm glad you like it.
Because it's like, those are all things that I've been very grateful for the life I've led and the things I've gotten to see and do. So
a lot of places
no complaints there, but I have gone, it's like study abroad. It's like, you're not there just for, experiencing it and things like that. Or, Scotland was the wedding, which, I mean, how can you ever top, a wedding, destination wedding? But we missed some of like the Highlands stuff that the Disney tour would cover. And so, oh my gosh, that sounds really good. I don't really enjoy that.
I don't have an exact price because I didn't go that deep into it.
I think we can all assume.
It's hard to do.
It's out of our budget.
Yeah, it's way out of the budget. But
now maybe fun. I might hit all those within my lifetime.
Yeah, that's kind of maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
Even so, that's a lot of.
Yeah.
It would be cool too. Like I told you before, there is a little bit of me in this.
Yeah.
This is a lot of stuff that I would like to do too.
Like the cruises and stuff too. I love cruises, but I wouldn't think to like cruise to the Greece. And,
cruise from place
really
to place.
Cool.
Yeah, and then you can do.
I guess I did do that for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I tried to add in a stop at like Auschwitz because I know we've talked about that to like just to see the history, which a lot of this is almost an entirely history based trip. Like if you look at everything.
So it's laundry. I haven't folded my laundry, but I have my Pawn Stars shirt on today.
Let me call an expert.
So if you haven't figured out that I'm a history nerd yet.
Yeah. So it's
your sign.
history based. And I was gonna do that, but I couldn't. Being a moron, probably, didn't realize where Auschwitz was. It's out in the middle of nowhere in Poland.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out a way to get there without, and it still be, like, in that.
Yeah, within the.
Because, like.
It's kind of like
your trip kind of follows a line. Like, it's very. And I couldn't figure out a way to add that in because it's very just out of the way.
It is because my brother wanted to go see that. And then I think the trip fell through because of, friends couldn't, plan at the same time. But they were planning on doing that. And then as like a graduation type trip.
Okay. Yeah, because
that would be like the stop, that's like the vacation.
Yeah.
Or trip,
Yeah, that's like where you're going.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was quite, because I was looking at like trips from, instead of going to Barcelona after Paris. I was looking at like going to Germany. I was trying to book like, okay, I can get you to Frankfurt. So how do we get you? How do we get you to where we need to go to Auschwitz? And I was trying to figure out how exactly where it was because I didn't know.
Yeah.
But it's not in Germany. It's in Poland.
Yes. Yeah.
Which
you wouldn't think about unless you've done research on it and things like that. But
so
it's funny that you mentioned Germany because we also thought about like our dream vacations like for ourselves, like if we could plan it.
Yeah.
So and then I thought about the Neuschwanstein Castle in Germany, which is like the really picturesque.
Is that the big white one?
The Sleeping Beauty inspiration.
Okay, yeah, I know.
If you saw a picture, you'd know what it is. That and then in Romania, the Bran Castle, which is Dracula.
Oh, that'd be
Vlad the Impaler.
I would love to go there.
Yeah,
that'd be so cool.
So that was like when I was thinking about like the places I haven't been yet. Because I was like, well, my dream vacation is basically what you just did. But when I was thinking about like where haven't I been yet, it's more of the Eastern Europe.
Yeah. Right? Eastern Europe, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then also,
the directions.
I've always wanted to, because every trip I go on, I know, I'm so good at directions. Every trip I go on is like, go, because I want to see and do everything.
That's how I am very much.
But I don't know that I've ever had like a truly relaxing vacation. You know how some people go on vacation and like just go to the beach? I don't think I've ever done that.
See, I have. And it bores the crap out of me.
Yeah. And I think I would still, even because like I really want to go to the Maldives and do like the overwater bungalows. And then there's one place I found, Rangali Island, where they also have like the underwater dining and things like that.
Oh, I've seen hotels and stuff like that. That would be cool.
Yeah. So that would be like the most relaxing I could go, but I would still want to do some stuff there. But they have like an overwater spa too.
Yeah.
And so I think that would be cool because I don't think I've done anything like that I remember.
Kind of stuff would be cool because like when I've gone to the beach and stuff, it's been like we went on a cruise. We've been on cruises where you just go to the beach for a day instead of going on an excursion.
Yeah, I've done that, but it still. And then we did like the trip overall isn't relaxing.
We did a trip to Cancun once where we were there for like 3 or 4 days, and it was just the beach basically was all it was, which is great. I mean, it's still Cancun. You're still in a tropical location and stuff, but yeah, the beach, like a beach day is fine on a trip.
Yeah.
I can't be one of the people that just goes and sits on the beach for days at a time because I don't think I could either.
Because even in like because Casey's family is the complete opposite. They will go and that's their ideal vacation.
Great.
I just think that like I don't know, in my head I don't want to waste it by not seeing part of the culture.
Yep.
And so I think even in somewhere like the Maldives where it's south of India, so I would still want to do something.
Yeah.
Like maybe do something cultural first and then end with like 3 days on the overwater bungalow or something to truly like de-stress.
That's how I am. I feel like if I'm there now, like I don't know if I'll ever make it back to this location or when. So I want to do as much as possible while I'm here.
Yeah.
And usually, again, like I said, it depends on what I'm doing. Usually there's like days where there's not as much going on, where you can just kind of see the sights and relax.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've always been ones that are like, let's go and do like
my family
what
too.
we can because don't know when or if we'll ever be back here. So we want to see as much of it as we can.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's like in my head, I just like you said, I don't want to waste it because I don't think I'll ever be back.
Yeah.
Not that a relaxing vacation isn't.
No, a relaxing vacation is great for like there's nothing
I like
wrong
when
with
it's
that for
part
people,
of that. But that's one place that I have thought about. Well, maybe if we get married here, we can honeymoon there or something. But then I wanted to do a destination wedding. So, do you have any trips coming up anytime soon? I know you just did Disney, or not just, but
it's me and my mom were talking about that yesterday. Actually, I was talking to her last night, and she was surprised that it had been over a year now.
Because it was January.
It was January
right?
of last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that one kind of
recent.
It does.
Yeah.
That one was a little kind of expensive, so it kind of drained a lot of stuff. So probably I don't have anything. I mean, I'll go home and visit. I'll go to Springfield and visit family here before.
It's about the same here.
Stuff,
like
but
we have a trip to Wisconsin in October for a wedding for a family friend, which is great. But it's like after you've done, your almost dream Disney vacation, and then for us, a destination wedding. It's like I think I screwed up because now the rest of my life just kind of
They just
sucks.
Suck. They just suck from now on.
It's like, woo, we're going to Wisconsin.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you can find
Wisconsin's great.
There's
things to do. There's the Dells. Sorry to anyone who's from Wisconsin. If any of my family friends listen to this. I love Wisconsin.
You can always
you know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Scotland, Wisconsin.
I get that. Like, I totally get that. I don't.
Are there any places in the U.S. that you want to go that you haven't been yet? You know, if you could do like a road trip or a short flight somewhere in the U.S.
I mean, I want to go to Disneyland, which is in California. I've never been there. I would like to visit like Las Vegas. I would like to see it.
Yeah.
I'd like to see San Francisco.
Yeah.
I
love San Francisco.
I think
you would like San Francisco.
I think San Francisco would be cool to see.
It's cool and breezy, and they have clam chowders. So I mean, like, if I could live anywhere, minus like the earthquakes and cost of living and things, San Francisco is pretty great. I'd like to visit New York City. Mm-hmm. I drove by it twice when I did an internship in college, because I did my internship. It was in Connecticut, and we had to drive up there. Oh, okay.
So I drove past it. I drove around it once, because me and the group of friends, we had to go to Nashville first to go to do like training for this, because it was door-to-door sales basically is what it was, which was awful. But that's a story for a different day. Yeah. And then we drove from Nashville to Connecticut to do this. Yeah. And we did there was a big group of us, so we kind of drove that direction, but there's a big group, but then you had like smaller pods that you lived in, lived with, and they were kind of spread out all over the state and that area. So like somewhere in Massachusetts, somewhere in Connecticut, you know, all over. And our little pod, I had GPS. I don't remember if anybody else had GPS, because I bought GPS for this trip, and I am probably the best of navigator in the group. So when we were driving, there was a point where it was like, okay, go this way to New York, or go this way to go not to New York. And I'm like, okay, we're going to go this way, not to, because I don't want to drive through the city. No. Because you should always drive around it if you're not staying there. And we didn't get anywhere close to it when we went that way. Like, we went up and around. Yeah. Now, when I came back, we drove right through the freaking city. Like, not of course through Manhattan, but like through the Bronx and things like that. And I think we drove through in the middle of the day, so it wasn't that bad, but it's a lot. And it was cool to even just drive by the city to just see it. Yeah. Like, because it is. I've been there, and I've like been to a Broadway play, but once again, this was in middle school for a school trip. So I would like to go again, but I have other places I want to go first. Yeah. Because I haven't seen any like big national parks like Yellowstone, Yosemite, what is it, Zion? But the biggest place I haven't been, because I feel like I've been to San Francisco, Las Vegas, Boston, like all the coastal massive cities, but I haven't been to New Orleans, which seems like it would be such my vibe. I think New Orleans would be a lot of fun. So that's my biggest place that I haven't gone in the U.S. I think New Orleans would be a lot of fun. I haven't been anywhere. I've been to DC. I would love to go back to DC, because I did DC on a school, like it wasn't like it was like one of those school summer trip type things where it was all set up by our teacher. Yeah. That's what our New York and it was New York and Washington DC was our middle school trip. So it was a middle school trip. Yeah. It was one of the middle school years, and that's funny. Probably my favorite ever teacher, Mr. Shikani. So he was awesome. Loved him as a teacher. And he set it up, and he did it for a lot of years after. This was the first year that he did it, and he kind of booked it himself, because he didn't because I talked to him about it. I remember talking to him about it later. He kind of booked it himself the first time, because he didn't really it was the first time he ever did it. So he kind of like pushed it all together and did it himself. Yeah. And then after that, he started doing like one of the tour companies that do student tours for you. Yeah. And I'm sure he started doing it with better. That. Yeah. So, but I had a blast though. Like he had some cool stuff set up for us. We did we went to the Air and Space Museum. We went to tour the Supreme Court and Congress and all that kind of stuff. We didn't get to go to the White House because when I was in middle school, this was just like, well, let's see, it was the end of my summer after my 7th grade year, I believe.
Yeah.
So that was 2 years after 9/11.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that makes a big difference in what you can see and can't
what
see.
they did. So I remember they couldn't, we couldn't go because it was closed when he was booking it.
Yeah.
But it opened again right before we went.
Oh, gotcha.
So it opened to tours again, but there was at that point there was almost no way to I think he tried contacting a congressperson to see if we would be able to go, but it wasn't like a practical thing.
That's a good trip. So is Boston and Philadelphia. Those are really cool historical places.
So I would love to go spend more time to see more of DC.
Yeah.
I've been to some of the big cities on the East Coast. Like I said, I've been to I was in Boston, I think. No, I don't remember if I made it all the way up to Boston, but I've been to Providence because since I did that door-to-door sales thing, I was 45 minutes from Providence. So
yeah.
I've been to Miami, I've been to Orlando, I've been to Dallas, I've been to Chicago, I've been to stuff like that. I've never been west though of basically Missouri.
Yeah.
So I would like to go to, like I said, Los Angeles, San Francisco.
Have you been to Colorado?
No, that's west.
Mountains are I know, but
I haven't been.
I was just clarifying.
I mean, actually west of Missouri, Kansas City, maybe a little bit into Kansas. Anything west of that, never.
The mountains are nothing. The mountains are a must.
I would love to go see the mountain. Yeah, I would love to go see Denver. I actually have friends in Denver that listen to this. Hi,
Hi.
Kevin, Molly. Yes. Hopefully, if they're listening, if you guys are listening.
Let Kevin come visit you.
They've told me that I can. They've
then
said,
why haven't you gone?
I don't know. You have to have money to go.
PTO.
You have to have money to go. But yeah. So
I have a little game for us to play based on.
Hold on, just a sec. I have one other trip that I think would be fun to go on
in the U.S.
It's not in the U.S.
Oh, not in the U.S.
This is just like one of those dream trips.
Okay.
So Royal Caribbean does it's called the most epic world cruise ever to set sail. It's 274 nights, 60 countries.
Jesus, that's like 3/4 of a year.
Yeah.
Oh my God. How many countries?
60 plus countries and 8 world wonders is what it says.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
Yeah. So there's not a lot of.
How much is it though?
I don't know. It doesn't, it says.
It doesn't list a price.
No, it says call to reserve is what it says.
Oh, okay.
And it's multiple segments, it's multiple things. Because what it is it's like separate cruises that kind of cruise all over the place.
Yeah.
But the map,
that's very interesting.
The map kind of shows you I don't know if you can. I'll see if you can see this here.
That'd be really interesting. So you kind of hop on and hop off type of thing.
What you can where the line is.
Oh yeah.
Go, and there's different legs.
So you go around all the continents and then do different legs of it.
Yeah. So there's different legs that kind of go on it, and I'll see if I can put this up on the video for you guys to see too. But that would be a lot of fun.
Yes, that would be. I feel like you'd have to be retired and rich.
Oh yeah, because it says call to reserve, which I'm sure it's partly because
you have to plan out all the legs of it.
It's all the different legs.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it would be a lot of fun, and I know some people don't like cruises, and I get that. If you get any sort of motion sick or anything like that,
I don't mind them.
Then it would be terrible, but
you know what? I am surprised that we both like cruises as much as we do, with knowing how much we each are fascinated with the Titanic.
Yeah, I mean, things have changed since then. I've also watched videos on how these new ships are built and the details on them. Because the Titanic compared to these ships now was tiny.
Yeah.
Miniature scale almost. It's ridiculous how small it was. But these ships now are so you could still sink them. It's happened in somewhat recent times. There was a ship that sank off. Was it the Italian or the Greek coast several years ago? I don't remember.
I don't remember where it was. But
it was
over
in Europe. That sank. And it can happen, but it's
so rare.
Very rarely happens.
It's like how, people think the same thing about airplanes, but you're much more likely to die in a car crash.
Yeah. So cruise
That's really cool though.
The thing I like about cruises is you get to see so many places on one trip and you don't have to move hotels.
Yeah, I agree.
So I enjoy them a lot, but that would be something
that would
fun.
Still be better than hotel hopping because it is a lot.
It's so much to,
even if you have to jump, maybe switch to a different ship. On one leg of the thing. I think it's still better than hotel hopping.
But I would guess if you're doing their cruise, if you're doing it through them, they would move your just like an airplane. If you have a connection flight, I would hope that they move your luggage from ship to ship since they're all doing all of it. Yeah, because
otherwise it's just such a pain.
Especially if you're doing 207 nights, you're basically taking your whole wardrobe with you, which means you have to lug all of that luggage everywhere. Yeah, which would suck. It would. I did have to do laundry one day on my vacation to Disney because I was there for long enough, and I didn't have a way to pack.
I did a lot of Tide Pod sink laundry in Scotland because they lost my luggage. So
oh, that sucks.
Because I had my wedding dress and things in my backpack because I was like, well, that is I can't lose that.
Yeah.
So everything that I was required for the wedding was on me, and everything else was packed. So I had 2 outfits. So I was very annoyed that all my pictures of Scotland, besides the wedding, which, obviously these pictures are different, it's the same 2 outfits. And I was doing laundry so frequently. And Casey had to help me because it was so often. And, everywhere there has the towel warmers. So I would dry everything on the towel warmers.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they have towel warmers.
Freaking London was on a strike. It was London.
Oh, the Heathrow?
Oh, yeah, they were on strike and they lost my luggage and it got shipped to us 2 months later to our house.
That's just crazy.
Yeah.
So
that was my gripe with luggage there.
I have luckily never that I can remember lost luggage in
that was the first time.
It is amazing how they get it from place to place, though.
Yeah.
It is kind of crazy. You think of an airport and how much stuff is going from place to place. And
the wild thing is I had an AirTag in it because I was I know something's going to happen with freaking London because they were on strike. I knew they were on strike.
Yeah.
And that was our connecting flight, obviously, because that's a lot of the connecting flights there. Yeah. And so I put an AirTag in it, and the courier who brought it from London to Scotland was always 3 days behind us. And so they had you write out, your schedule, what hotels you're staying at. And so I put our schedule, our hotels. They were always 3 days. So we would be already in Skye from Inverness, and then he just got to Inverness. And then we would be driving from Skye to Edinburgh, and he was on his way to Skye. And I was like, this is infuriating because I could drive an hour north and probably catch up with him.
Yeah, you wrote down the itinerary.
And they were always
know where you're going to be.
And at first I was like, well, did I get the dates wrong? Because they flipped them. But I was like, no, I had the dates right because I triple checked that.
Good Lord.
Yeah, no, maddening. But
yeah, I only luckily had to do one day of one thing of laundry.
Yeah.
Which I just went, luckily all the Disney hotels have laundry and I just went down there, threw it all in there. Yeah. It's basically a laundry room, so you got 15 machines.
If we would have stayed at a normal hotel everywhere we went, I think we could have done that, but we stayed in castles.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I would have stayed in castles too.
I know. So I don't really have a laundry room for guests.
I will be fine doing laundry in the sink if I stay in a castle.
Some of them had laundry services, but it was £75 for $75, $80.
Okay.
For the laundry service.
Oh yeah, that's kind of high. Yeah.
I was like, okay, so clearly we are not their normal clientele that stay here. Yeah.
Yeah, but
that's cool though. I like that cruise trip. I think that'd be really fun if you could afford it and have the time off to do it.
Yeah. 274. That is crazy.
It's a long time.
Anyway, game. You have a game.
Okay, so have you heard of the Florida Man Challenge?
No.
So going back to the U.S. stuff.
I feel like I might have heard something transition.
So this is super funny.
Okay.
So what it is you Google your month and day, birthday, and then Florida Man.
Yeah.
So while you do yours, I did yours just in case you didn't find anything on your Google, because I know everyone's Google searches are a little different. But while you're pulling yours up, here's mine. So March 7th, 2018. Man charged after trying to barbecue all the child molesters. Okay. That is my Florida man story. So this guy went to this hotel or motel and tried to set it on fire. Did set it on fire, but they put it out because he thought child molesters were staying there and he wanted to barbecue them. That's my Florida man story.
Okay.
What's yours?
So here's what we're gonna do. So I just Googled it, and I have several headlines that are funny.
I saw several too.
So do you want me to give you like a few of them, and then you can pick?
Yeah.
Okay. So headline number 1: Florida man braves floodwater in inflatable duck.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2: Florida man arrested for giving girlfriend a wet willy, which sounds very sexual, and I don't really know what that is. Florida man charged in plot to hire hitman to kill toddler. What is this one? This one's longer. This one's longer.
My favorite for your birthday was, if you scroll down a little more, Florida man named Vladimir Putin arrested on trespassing charges. But it was this guy who is named Vladimir Putin got arrested for trespassing in a Publix after hours, like the shopping center, grocery store. But my favorite for that was it went viral, and everyone was tweeting Donald Trump to ask why Vladimir Putin had gotten arrested in Florida.
Good Lord. This one, I remember this one. Florida man arrested trying to cross the Atlantic in giant hamster wheel. I remember that one happening.
What?
Yeah. Like, it's like this giant, like, it is literally looks like a hamster wheel. It's got like canisters around the end to make it float, and he would just like walk in it like this to like get places.
And he tried to cross the ocean on that.
That's what it's
he must not have gotten that far.
I think he was charged. I could actually look at it. If I remember correctly, he didn't get charged for the attempt. He got charged because he had to call the Coast Guard to come rescue him from a stupid act, which is like
that's improper use of resources.
Yeah, so like that's obviously
so funny.
There's a and speaking of stuff like that, there's actually a watch company. I don't remember there's a few watch companies. I think Breitling has them. Has these type of watches too, but they're a survival watch, and they have like all the normal, like it's an analog watch.
Yeah,
they have all the normal dials and things on them, and then there's one on the corner too that you unscrew and pull out, and it pulls out wires, and it sends an emergency signal across like the RF like emergency radio waves, so they can pinpoint your location once that starts. So it's like it's an emergency beacon.
Yeah.
So like if you're in a plane crash or anything like that, which is why Breitling makes it, because they're known for airplane company and stuff like that, aviation watches. And they talked about it, and there's like a massive fine if you do it and you're not actually in trouble. So because there was an episode of Top Gear years ago where they gave one of the guys that, and they sent him out into the wilderness in Canada, and the other two had to come find him.
I love Top Gear.
They just didn't put any effort really into it. They got a couple of trucks. The whole thing, of course, is vehicles, so they got a couple of trucks, and they went out to Canada, and he was in the wilderness for like 4 days.
So funny. They are hilarious.
Oh, it's such a great show. That's Florida Man
game. Love
Florida
it.
Man game. I've heard about that. It's been a couple years since I heard about that, but I do remember it making the rounds. So
I thought that was funny since we were talking about trips in U.S.
So
Do you have a fun fact for today?
Oh, that's right. Fun facts.
Yeah, you can't start the theme song yet. Gosh, Kev.
I'm terrible at this.
We have not done our facts.
You wouldn't think I'd be doing this for over a year now, like, would you?
Yeah.
This has been going on for. It was a year in February.
But granted, I guess we've only been doing fun facts at the end since I've been here.
Yeah, but we did other things. Like it's just a different one. We did the movie thing.
Things.
Like we did the movie stuff for before. I do have a fun fact. Where did it go? Cool. Did I close it?
Are you gonna do your fact bomb?
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I'm failing.
Oh my
today.
goodness,
this is not going well.
So what is your fact bomb of the day?
Hold on, because I had it pulled up, but I don't remember what it was.
I can read mine.
Go for it.
So, one of the most. So I found this when I was looking at the different castles that I haven't seen in Europe yet. One of the most notorious supposed serial killers in history was Elizabeth Bathory. This Hungarian countess is said to have murdered hundreds of girls and women, and after being accused of this, was imprisoned in a castle and died under mysterious circumstances. Later rumors credited her with being an inspiration for Bram Stoker, and also said that she bathed in her victims' blood to keep herself beautiful, like to keep her skin beautiful. But most of those are considered like folklore of the region. And even nowadays, even the original accusations and supposed 300 witnesses that came forward to, support this accusation is rumored to have all been a political conspiracy because apparently her family in the region had a lot of influence.
Yeah.
And so they wanted to undermine that influence. But I thought that was interesting. The number was like 650 murders that she was accused of. So.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a couple they're all travel related, but they're interesting. So actually, how many is in this list? Because this is a list of like it's 25 surprising facts so we're not going to go through the whole list, but I'm going to go through a couple of them that are kind of fun. Okay. So, two that are really interesting. So, the Qantas, does a, Qantas is an airline company out of Australia.
Oh, okay.
So they used to, for a couple of years, back in the 40s, they did a flight that was called the Double Sunrise Service. And it would fly from Australia to Sri Lanka and you'd be able to see the sunrise twice. And it was 30 hours long. It's the longest commercial flight ever.
Yeah.
Then you have the shortest commercial flight, which is in Scotland, from Westray to Papa Westray. I guess it's a couple islands. Mm-hmm. It's less than 2 minutes.
It's so weird.
It's just literally just
you
like
could kayak there.
It's like up and down, like
yeah.
So that's funny. I just think that those are kind of interesting because it's like the longest and the shortest flights.
That is cool.
in the world. So
drastically different.
Yeah, it's 30 hours and then 2 minutes.
2 minutes,
which is crazy.
That's funny.
Okay, now I think I can.
Yes, now you can do the theme song. We're done now.
I like our theme song.
I think
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's fun when you do it on time.
Yeah, I did it the wrong time. I'm sorry. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks
for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll comment, and to vote on go to our Instagram, please. Enjoy, comment, join us, have fun, join the club, join the group. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, don't forget, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.